Here we'll be talking about trends, and I've been getting a couple of requests on making a video on how to identify your trends properly. And I've come to understand that many traders have this difficulty in identifying the market trends correctly. And I took a sell trade on V10 index by trading alongside with the market trend. We're not moving in profit yet. This is a swing trade on this index. I'm expecting a long-term sell basically, and I'll show you guys why I sold this index at this point. So let's dive into the chart. So coming to the weekly time frame on this index, coming to the weekly time frame, right? Coming to the weekly time frame on the V10 index, we can tell that we have two major direction on this index. On the weekly time frame, we have the first direction, which is the market being a downtrend, right? And the second direction, which is the market being in an uptrend. So how are we able to tell that this market was in a two trading phase? That's the downtrend and the uptrend. So we can see that, let's delete this. So you can see that at this point, we have the highs and lows of this index. Before we spot a trend, before we identify a trend properly, make sure we have the highs and the lows of this trend identified, of this structure identified. We have this downtrend basically, and we've been able to spot the highs at this point and the lows at this point. So after spotting the highs and lows, the next thing we do is to look out for the nearest highs and the nearest lows this index formed. And we can tell that in between these two highs and two lows, the nearest highs this index formed was at this point, which you have to identify. So let's identify it. We have this nearest highs at this zone. Remember, we've identified the first highs and we got the second highs at this point, which is a lower high, right? And we have another high as well, which is the next high that followed up this previous high we identified at this point, which is another what, lower high. Then we got another high at this point as well, another lower high, right? And we got the last lower high, we can tell, at this zone. We got the last lower high at this point basically. We got the last lower high at this point basically. So now I've identified the highs of this index. Let's identify the nearest lows. Remember, we got the lows and the highs at this point. So we got the first low at this point basically. We got the first low at this level, right? And we got the second low at this point, a lower low. We got another low as well, a lower low, right? So identify this market structure properly. We have the last low of this index, which we identified at this zone on this blue line. So on this market structure identification, we can be able to tell that the market is in a downtrend because we've seen price create series of lower highs and lower lows. So we are done with this downtrend identification. You've been able to tell that this index is in a downtrend because we've seen the lower highs and the lower lows formation. And when we bring up our trend line 2, right? When we bring up our trend line 2, we can be able to demarcate this market trend. Let's identify it. Let's spot this properly. We can be able to demarcate this downtrend, like make it more specific. Let's delete these boxes, right? So we got these at this point. Let's delete this so we can have a clear view of this index. Can have a clear view of this downtrend. So this is the downtrend this index was in, the previous downtrend, and we have the current market trend, which is the market being an uptrend at this zone. So what's the first thing we do in this market structure? We identify the highs and lows of this trend. We identify the highs and lows. So we got the lows at this point, the lows of this uptrend, and we got the highs of this uptrend at this zone. We got the highs at this point. So after identifying the highs and lows of this index, the next thing we do is to spot the nearest lows or the nearest highs of this index. So we got the nearest lows at this point, a low that is lower than this identified lows we got at this zone. Let's clear this previous downtrend lows. So we identified these nearest lows at this point, and we got another low basically. We got another low formation at this point, which is the current level price is trading on, and we got the highs, the nearest highs of this index. Remember, I have spotted the highs and lows of this index. So what's the nearest highs of this index? So we have the nearest highs at this point, right? And we got another high basically. We got another high at this zone, a higher high. So this is the next highs to this higher high. So after identifying this market structure, the next thing we do is to spot it with our trend line 2 to identify it, to make it more specific. But let's first delete these things. Right, let's first delete these things. So we identify this market formation, we spot the levels and zones properly, our trend support and our trend resistance properly, so we can have a clear identification of this uptrend, right? So we have this trend support at this point, and we have our trend resistance at this zone. On trend lines, we have our support levels and our resistance levels. These levels act as the trend tops and trend bottoms, right? So we got the trend resistance at this point and we got the trend support at this zone. And we can see that on the test of this trend resistance, price sold to the downside. Price too sold to the downside on the test of this trend resistance. The same thing at the trend support here. Price bought on the test of the trend support, still bought from this trend support. So after identifying this market trend, the next thing we need to spot the major key levels and zones, the horizontal level of support and resistance. And we have one at this point. This is a level of support, a key level basically, because we've seen that we got past market reaction on this level as a resistance and as a support, right? So we can see that price reacting on this level as a resistance. These little cells got at this point before breaking above it, then reacting on this level as a support. We got the buys here, still got the buys at this point. So the next level we have is at this zone, our key level of resistance basically, which price is yet to test after breaking above it. We got price break above this key level of resistance at this point, and we've seen that price has been trading above this level. So we're yet to get the test of this identified key level, right? So possibly we're expecting price to come test this level as well as testing our trend support, which is likely, which we may get in the coming days and hours on this index. So let's go to the daily time frame to identify the market formation on this level. So we can tell that inside this overall uptrend identified on the weekly time frame, we have many trends in them. Like this move we got at this point, this is a straight move on the weekly time frame, like an impulsive move. But on the lower time frame, this is an uptrend formation. The same thing at this point, we got this downtrend move at this zone, right? And this can be seen clearly on the day time frame. So let's identify the day time frame market structure and market formation. So on the day time frame, we got this uptrend formation at this point, which got broken. But let's identify these market trends no matter the time frame. So we got this uptrend formation at this point, which got broken. Price started creating this lower highs and lower lows formation. Let's identify this uptrend properly, right? You can tell that price was in an uptrend at this zone, creating lower highs and creating higher highs and higher lows. We got the highs at this point, a high, a low, a higher high, a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low, a higher high, a higher low. So this is an uptrend formation on the daily time frame, but it looks like an impulsive move on the weekly time frame. That's why you have to analyze each and every time frame whenever we're looking out for trade opportunities on any market, right? So we got this downtrend formation on the daily time frame at this point. You can tell that price was creating this lower highs structure, this lower highs formation heading to the downside. We got the trend resistance at this point and we got the trend support at this zone. So we can tell that price created this highs, create the high at this point, price create the high at this zone, right? Create another high, a lower high, a lower high here, a low here, a lower low, and a lower low, and a lower low. So this was a downtrend on the day time frame. But let's not forget the overall market trend is an uptrend on the weekly time frame, right? This is the overall market trend basically. But inside this overall market trend, we got many uptrend and many downtrend in them, which we also have to identify. So coming back to the daily time frame, we can tell that there was a break out of this downtrend. You can see that price started pushing to the offside, giving us this bullish move. And whenever a trend is broken, let's watch close on that trend. We tend to have more trade moves in the opposite way. This means that if the market was in a downtrend and it got broken, that downtrend got broken, we're likely to get more bullish moves after the breakout of that downtrend. We're likely to get more buys after the breakout, like we got at this point, right? This is the market being a downtrend, so we got this bullish move here. The first buys at this zone, the second buys at this point, basically the second buys at this point. We have more of buy moves on this index, right? We have more of buy moves on this index, and the third buys at this zone, basically third buys at this zone. Before these big fourth buys we got at this point, we got these big bullish buys at this point. Remember, this was after the break out of this downtrend formation we got at this point. We had more bullish move on this index. So currently the market is in a downtrend at this zone. Market is in a downtrend at this point, right? You can tell that price is creating lower highs and lower lows heading to the downside. We got this market structure at this zone. This is the current market structure basically, right? Market is in a downtrend and we're likely to we're expecting a move to this blue line on this index and possibly a test of this our trend support, which identified on the weekly time frame. We said we're expecting price to move to this level to come test our trend support. So let's expect the sells on this index in the coming days and weeks, and bearish on this index basically, because it's seen on the daily time frame that price is in a downtrend, creating lower highs and lower lows. And we got our levels identified at this zone. We have our level of resistance and our level of support. This level was a key level, or is a key level, because price reacted on it as a support and as a resistance. Got price buy on a test of this level, broke below it, we test on it, buys here, sell to the downside, sell to the downside at this point as well. So currently we're expecting the sells on this index. I'm expecting the sells on this index in the coming days and hours, right? Sell to this blue line basically, and we have this identified level of support at the zone. This is a key level. Price has been holding on to this level, so if price can break below this level, you're likely to get long-term sales on V10 index, right? You're likely to get long-term sales on this index. So here on the forward time frame, we have this downtrend that got broken at this point. So I have this downtrend that got broken at this zone, right? So I took my sales in respect of this downtrend that we got on the daily time frame, this overall market trend we got on the time frame, and this level which I saw on the 4-hour time frame, which I also identified, right? I'm expecting a sell from this level, and you can see market reaction on the test of this level, that we got multiple market reaction on this level as a resistance and as a support. This is a key level basically. Price return this level as a resistance here, support here, support at this zone, resistance at this point. So you're likely to get a reaction on this level as well as a resistance, and the sells to the downside at least to this level, this identified key level we saw on the daily time frame here, right? This identified key level, at least the sells to this zone basically, right? So coming back to the 4-hour time frame, I'm expecting the sales on this index. I took my sell trade at this point basically. We're in a drawdown, but I'm still expecting the sales on this index. I had my stop loss at this zone, so I'll give you guys an update on how it played out. So the sales expected on this index, we can see on the 1-hour time frame that we got this pin bar formation, this candlestick formation, which is a bearish formation. So I'm expecting the sales to follow up on this index, and we got a double top formation, which is a bearish reversal pattern formation at this zone. We got a double top formation at this point. We got the first highs at this zone, right? And we got the second highs at this point. So the sell was expected on this index basically. The sales expected in the coming days and hours on V10 index, at least to this level. I'll be having my first TP level at this zone, and my overall target level, my second TP will be at this blue line basically, and my overall target level will be on the test of this our trend support. So that's this, guys. That's how to trade alongside with the market trend. That's how to identify market structure and spot the market zones properly. So smash like button for more trade reviews like this and market analysis. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new to the channel. To my returning viewers, I appreciate the support for engaging in my videos. Really means a lot, guys. Let's do more and have a wonderful day.